teenage kids don't need parents quite like, preteens do. And so the fact that Truly and I have these long conversations, we talk about what she's doing and stuff like that.
I love Robyn's face here. Ooh. Am I the only one sleeping with this guy? This is the most uncomfortable Zoom call I've ever witnessed. I mean, I have more warmth and connection with my colleagues and at work than these 4 women have with Kody. It was so sterile. But I thought we learned a lot about Kody on the call. The first thing was, I thought it was so interesting when he's talking about Christine and he's expressing his frustration that she's still leaving. And he's like, I'm having a hard time believing it, and I'm waiting for her to come to her senses. And the way I'm wanting her to come to her senses is I'm waiting for her to recognize that she can't do any better outside of here, right? He's not saying, I'm hoping she comes to her senses and realizes how much she's going to miss me or she's going to miss the family. I'm hoping she realizes that there's really something good here. No. It's not about this getting any better or any kind of connection. It's, I hope she recognizes that she can't do it without me. It's in the same vein as an abuser, right? You're stuck in this crappy relationship with me because you don't deserve anything better than me. You can't do anything better than me. That's the hierarchy that he is creating with these wives, and I think it's so hard for him to digest the fact that Christine is breaking out of that cycle. And then he goes on to criticize Christine for her behavior on the Zoom call because she's being too much of an independent woman. He has such a distaste of women having power, and the fact that she is running the conversation as she discusses logistics was really hard for Kody. Kody wants to be the person that's driving everything. And it was just interesting to see how frustrated he got when people were questioning his decisions. And it was a classic example when Christine's talking about her daughter's choice to go back to school. Isabel wants to go back to school and be with her friends. And Christine's asking Kody, what does that mean for you and your relationship with Isabel? And Cody's reaction is, she's putting me on the spot. She's trying to prove to me that I'm a hypocrite. You're seeing him be reactive at any time when he might not look like a totally coherent and stable husband and father. The conversation about Isabel was really significant because it was the first time, at least in this season, when we have seen most of the wives, even Robyn, push back on Kody, right? Kody is saying, if Isabel's going to go back to school, then this is a choice she's making, and so I can't hang out with her. And then everybody goes, hey, Kody, why don't you, go over there and meet her outside?
Be apart from her, like 6 feet apart in the backyard or something.
Well, I can do that, but that's been a real inconvenience so far, and it's still not that warm.
It's frustrating for everybody because they're going, well, why don't you at least call her and talk about it? Why don't you text her? Why don't you have a discussion with her about what it means to you for her to go back to school or not go back to school? Why are you not engaging? And Cody's stance is essentially that it's up to Isabel, and if Isabel wants to talk to me, then she should reach out. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that as it relates to Kody, and some of those are his ego, some of those are his frustration with Christine, I think. There's lots of reasons, but it reminded me of what I've seen frequently when there's a divorce and there's split custody over kids. Oftentimes, a parent who doesn't have full custody will reach out to their child and try to maintain a relationship, but when they see their child is not as interested in them, they back away. And they think that they're backing away and they're allowing their child to live their life. And they're allowing their child to manage the relationship. And in their mind, they're thinking, I'm just going to be available and allow that connection to grow at my child's pace. And I think that's a major mistake. As a parent, you are responsible for managing the relationship with your children. And I will tell you, I think that's true forever. I think that when your kid is 5, you are responsible for managing that relationship. And so you need to tailor your approach to your kid's needs at 5. And when your kid is 15, it is still on you to manage that relationship. And if your son or daughter doesn't want to talk to you at 15, you don't give up and wait for them to come around. You figure out a way to position yourself so that you can have a relationship with them. It is your responsibility as the parent to drive that relationship. And that brings us to my favorite part of the entire call, which was when Kody says, older kids don't need you in the same way that younger kids do. And all the wives go, the hell are you talking about? Here's what I think. He needs to be able to step out of himself and think not only about what he's saying to people, but he needs to figure out, why am I saying these things? And it's a really good segue into our sponsor for today's video, which is Aura. Aura is a new mindfulness and sleep app that won the Best of Apple Award and is used by over 7 million people already. They've got guided meditations, thousands of stories, CBT treatment, breath work, spirituality. It's like whatever you need in your life right now, they have an offering. So you can think about it like it's a Spotify app, right? You go onto Spotify and you create a profile, and then they feed you the right music for what you're looking for. This is the same thing with Aura. You go on there and you say, hey, here are the things that I'm wanting to work on. I need to work on not being so burned out at work, or I want to work on reducing my anxiety, or I want to get better at meditation, or I want to sleep better, I want to be a healthier lifestyle. And then they feed you content from experts around the world so that you can approach your life in a more intentional and thoughtful manner. I get offered all the time to do different sponsorship deals, and I have never done one because it's always something that I don't really believe in. When I got contacted by Aura, I went on the app, I created my own profile, and I'm talking about, hey, I need to reduce my anxiety, I need to get better sleep, I got to have better work-life balance. I have struggled my whole life with meditation because I just struggle to calm my mind. But through Aura, I was connected to content from a mindfulness teacher and psychotherapist in the UK named William James Davies, who walks you through, his course walks you through how to meditate. I'm on day 7, and it has been fantastic. So here's what's cool. They gave me a link, which I'll list below here. If you follow this link and go to their website, you can get started for free. You get a free trial and 25% off your membership. But you have to be one of the first 500 people to do so. I really think it is a fantastic program. I use it. My wife uses it. I can't say enough. All right, back to the video and that disastrous comment by Kody. The first question is, why does Kody have a different orientation towards older kids versus younger kids? And I want you to listen in the comments below your ideas about this. But for me, it's because of the deference a young kid has in comparison to an older child. So think about it this way. If you have a boy that is 4 years old, it's easy as a father to get that 4-year-old son to buy into you as sort of the superhero. And I think Kody likes the fact that he has all of these kids that look up to him, and he is kind of their superhero. But as a kid gets older, he or she eventually goes, hey, dad's not around much, and that's a problem for me. All of a sudden, you as the parent, when your kid turns 12, 13, 15, 18, right? When they get older, all of a sudden the kid becomes a little bit more discerning about dad's behavior. All of a sudden the child has an attitude. The child will push back on you. There's more friction. And I think it's harder for the mom, and whatever mom it is, it's harder for the mom to position Kody when he comes in once a week as the hero. So that's why I think he wants to care for the younger kids differently. But I want to say officially, I think it's an awful comment. I think it's absolutely untrue. I'll say this. There is truth to the fact that you should have a different relationship with a 5-year-old versus a 15-year-old. But I think it is your responsibility as a parent to tailor that relationship. Your job as a parent is to give the 15-year-old what they need and give the 5-year-old what they need. You don't put less effort into one versus the other. Let me know what you think in the comments. Why do you think Kody wants to put so much more effort into his relationship with the younger kids versus the older kids? And as always, thank you so much for listening. Like, subscribe, all those things. I'll be back next week.